Welcome back to the What the Flick preview episodes for the upcoming 7th season of Game of Thrones. I am Johnny Derola, Brett Ehrlich again doing this with me. Cenk and Kasparian joining us. So if you saw last week, we did a preview video with our predictions. Brett and I predicted what we thought would happen with the main characters and factions in Game of Thrones. But we wanted to find out what you predicted was likely to happen. So we have those here. And so we're gonna be going through those and saying whether we think they're likely to be true or not. But first, Anna and Cenk weren't here to give us their big predictions for the next season. So Anna, what do you expect to happen?
All right, so Cersei took matters into her own hands, and of course the last episode of the last season was her blowing up the venue where the religious crazy nut jobs were gathered. And her son committed suicide, and basically everyone in her family, with the exception of Jaime and Tyrion, are alive, right? And
are dead.
Are dead, exactly, that's what I meant. So there was a prediction that she would lose all her loved ones and eventually get the throne, which is what she's always wanted. But then eventually there would be justice and she would lose the throne. And I think that's what's gonna happen. I think she's gonna lose the throne, and I think that Daenerys Targaryen will be the winner of the Game of the Thrones.
Undisputed queen.
Yeah,
of the Game of the Thrones.
A Game of the Thrones, yes.
Okay, I will build off of that prediction first of all.
So you think that it has merit?
I think it has tremendous merit.
Thank you.
And I furthermore heard, and this is not my own prediction, so let me just throw it out there and then buttress it, that Jaime Lannister will play the role of Queenslayer.
Oh wow!
No way!
Seek Delight breaks for impact. It's election night all over again.
Well, hold on, Cenk,
The love
because
of her life, though.
that was prophesied by the ancients, specifically the ancient Diane W, who said Jaime is going to kill Cersei to complete the prophecy.
See?
What? I also think there's a 70% chance Jaime kills her, 20% chance Dragon, 10% chance Arya. But I think Jaime's likely.
Okay, so let's
Love is a fickle thing.
Yeah,
love and hate.
Before I get to the next prediction, let's just clarify for the audience that we don't know anything. Okay, so
we know
meaning
nothing,
that
Jon
there is no
Snow.
spoiler alerts here, mainly because we're past the books. So like we don't have the annoying thing of Diane W actually already read book 28 and already knows that he's gonna kill Cersei. So there isn't anything like that. As John was mentioning to us before we got started, there's some foreshadowing and there's some plot lines that have not completely finished from the books yet that we'll probably see, but nothing major like Queenslayer or anything like that. So there are no spoilers in that sense. So we're all on an even playing field finally.
Yeah.
So take that in.
Which I don't like that I am now weakened. I preferred my lofty, elevated position looking down on you peasants.
Yeah,
but
he liked being Lord Idarola.
Just kind of offhandedly saying like, oh, this might happen, even though you knew for a fact it was coming down
in
the
some
pipe.
cases.
Or that it wasn't coming and he wanted to throw us off the set.
But I don't think I got enough credit for not spoiling anything
That
for like
must have
5
been
years.
so difficult.
It was fun though. But okay, I think perfectly good prophecies.
That's right. I have a second prophecy that's my own. But before I do that, I must give John some credit. You are right, John. You did a good job of not doing spoilers. Credit is given. Okay, it has been granted
For the
by.
watch.
Yes, it has been granted by House TYT, shoptyt.com. Okay, anyways, I don't know if you can still get this. This was part of the donation drive. Anyways, we'll look into it. Maybe Game of Thrones special.
Well, there's still watchers on the wall shirts.
So that's my prophecy. There's going to be a shoptyt.com sale based on Game of Thrones. Anyway, no, seriously, the main one. Let's get to it. Daenerys, Jon Snow, they fuck. Okay, that's that. No, because
I think it's gonna happen. My girlfriend says definitely not gonna happen.
I don't think it's gonna happen because I think that they're in competition for the Game of the Throne.
The Game of the Throne.
No, but it's true. I mean,
Think of the
now
tension.
that Jon Snow knows who his parents are.
He doesn't want it.
He doesn't.
He wants
doesn't,
it.
He doesn't know.
You know who does want it?
He's gonna-
Sansa.
Sansa?
Sansa and Jon Snow are in cahoots right now, right? And she wants revenge. Arya, get Arya in the mix.
no,
Maybe
Arya
he just wants to
she's
kill like
never gonna
7
do it.
people.
No,
She's gonna get a cottage upstate.
I predicted.
Total
I think we
cottage.
both predicted Arya will die by the end of this.
That's
season.
I'm
entirely
afraid she's gonna
possible.
die, but yeah.
Well, Valar Morghulis.
There we go.
So hold on. So we now know that they're related. Can we remember how they're related, Jon Snow and Daenerys?
If the theory is correct, then Daenerys is Jon Snow's aunt.
Yes.
Okay, which makes it a very Targaryen thing to do.
It does.
To have sex with your relatives. And so since she's the aunt, I think that they're gonna go in that direction. Look, it's the minute I saw them, I thought, these guys fuck. They fuck. Okay?
I want to watch it. I definitely want to see it happen.
And so my point overall, other than the crass way that I'm stating this, is I am referring to a union of interest. Their interests are aligned, so one's coming from the north, the other one's coming from the south. You got a bunch
and they're actually coming at the same time.
Okay,
I think we should move into the.
Yes,
Really?
Okay,
has anyone watched this show? That's all they do is have sex with each other.
That's right. No, and by the way, I'm using it in the sense of Silicon Valley. When the guy comes up to Jared and he's like, he fucks. This guy fucks.
Yeah.
Anyway, so meaning that there's action around these folks.
Yeah,
and
I
so
agree.
the guys in the middle, all the Cerseis, etc. They're like too focused on themselves to worry about winter, right? So they're like, la 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 la, how are we gonna fight the dragons and yada yada. But the dragons and Jon Snow, once they get together and they crunch in the middle, they're gonna be like, okay, let's get real. We gotta fight those guys.
I feel like the most interesting thing is if the cleanest thing is if the Cersei Lannister plot comes to an end and then we focus on the North battle. But the more interesting thing is
7 going into 8.
I think the most interesting thing is if Cersei just kind of bubbles around and isn't quite gone yet, and then makes things more complicated for the fight between the North and the South.
But it's Game of Thrones. What it should happen is Jon Snow and Daenerys fighting the white.
We have a theory here. It might get into that
together. But since it's Game of Thrones, who knows?
Exactly.
Like, okay, they're gonna go fight the bad guys, and oh no, one of Daenerys' dragons ate Jon Snow, and we're done with it.
Or turned rogue.
Right.
Okay, so we've got a bunch of these here, so we got to keep our responses somewhat constrained. But there's some interesting ones that are sort of jokey, and then there's some serious ones that I actually am now convinced are true. The first one comes from Issa Hussein, who says, "Littlefinger becomes the new Night's King in the final scene of Game of Thrones. Lol." What do you think?
Jeez.
I really hope that doesn't happen.
Nah.
I really dislike him.
I
Agreed.
He's gonna die. He's gotta die.
Yeah.
No,
Maybe he is the Night's King.
Have we ever seen them on screen together?
No.
But I'll tell you this: Littlefinger somehow taking the throne should not be underestimated. I mean, that is a perfectly logical way for the entire series to end.
He's a cunning person, although Sansa's not buying it anymore, right?
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe she'll kill him.
Yeah.
I can
Think
see
about it,
that.
because of Littlefinger, she was forced to deal with the brutality of.
That's true.
What was his name?
Ramsay
again?
Bolton.
Ramsay Bolton.
Yeah, you're right.
And he is her only potential Achilles heel. And if there's anything we know about Achilles heels, they meet arrows at some point.
That's true. Yeah. Okay, the next one is from. This is a cool name. Pentriloquist says Euron, of course Greyjoy, who got the Driftwood crown and everything. Euron is going to side with Cersei for a marriage pact. No way he'll side with Dany, Theon, and Yara after the latter two betrayed him last season. I think they basically have to be working together because that is the only thing theoretically that's going to provide much of a counter to Daenerys. Like if you don't have both of them working together, she's going to sweep through the entire damn thing in like 2 episodes.
Yeah, I'll tell you the only downside to all this is that I've never thought there was much drama once the dragons hit the playing field, right? It's like it's over. Euron and Cersei can get together with all the fire things of what is the thing that wildfire in the world, and they're gonna lose. Everybody knows they're gonna lose.
Right.
If it wasn't Game of Thrones, I wouldn't even entertain the conversation.
But yeah, and then even if they find like a weakness to the dragons, I'm gonna be disappointed. If it ends up not being difficult, there's gonna be a part of me that's like, oh, but they seemed so badass.
The only thing I would say is we have the White Walkers, but that is not necessarily the extent of the Song of Ice part.
Right.
Yeah, that's the other thing that I've always been kind of a downer on, and I will probably have dramatic shifts in this season where I go, well, I didn't know that. That's not fair. Because I feel like the White Walkers, like, yeah, dude, I get it. You turn the dead into your guys, but we're gonna beat you. I mean, I'm not like. Because remember, they have like 18 Achilles heels, like the Dragonstone or whatever.
Dragonglass.
The Dragonglass, and boom, they're dead. How hard is that? That's not that hard, right?
Okay.
Well, we'll see. Maybe they have a few tricks up their sleeves. This is a very interesting prediction by Andy, who says, I predict that Daenerys gains the Iron Throne, but develops Targaryen madness, just like her father, and becomes the main bad guy for the final season. And Jon Snow is the one that stops her. It'll be dragons versus dragons.
That's fun. I feel like that's unlikely to happen, but who knows? I mean, just like Cenk says, it's just what you expect to happen never happens.
What if they hook up, have a baby, and then we go like 20 years later? And it's just crazy. All new people.
All new people. They were going to do that at one point early in the books. He wanted to do a jump ahead. I think it's possible. I mean, even up to, I just watched the Battle of the Bastards again. And once again, they're having the conversation with Daenerys about how she wants to burn down cities and kill people. And Tyrion's like, hey, pump the brakes. Like they keep foreshadowing her going crazy.
Yeah, that's
I don't want to turn on her, she's my girl.
I don't know. Oh, imagine how bad she could be if she, or how good she could be if she was bad.
But I think what people like about her is that she's not bad. Like she's bad when she needs to be bad, a little baddie.
Okay,
yeah, she's salty in a Casparian kind of way.
Yeah,
there's a lot that the House Targaryen and House Casparian have in common.
Okay, next one is from RSS313, who says Tyrion and Jon reunite. One or both of them ride dragons, and at least one dragon and at least one human eats it.
I love the number set up.
Yeah,
like need a formula for that.
Yeah, I almost did a permutation with it. I don't know. I haven't been in calc in a long time. All right, getting past the math, I like where you're going with it in at least one direction. A big question mark in my mind has always been over under on number of dragons that survive. So like, if he doesn't take out one of the dragons, I'll be surprised. Right? Because Game of Thrones, come on, how could you not? How could all three of them survive? The only downside, the only reason why it might not, because in the old days they also had 3 dragons and all 3 survived. Right? No one ever took down a dragon. So that's why. Otherwise, I think, a couple of those guys are gonna go.
Yeah.
What if it's Randy Quaid from Dragonheart? The movie, the shitty movie Dragonheart.
And then the cartoon kid comes in and he trains one of the dragons.
I'm just saying.
And then Sean Connery is a dragon.
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah, I predict that, and it's gonna kill me, but I don't see Tyrion lasting to the end. He's too good of a guy. Like, and they need. It's been too long since the last big shock. Tyrion dying is that big shock.
Hold on,
at the hands of Jaime.
He's a good guy, and usually when you're a good guy, it doesn't bode well for you. But he's also a really smart guy.
He's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So was Marjorie.
That's true.
Not a guy.
She was manipulative, which is, there's some intelligence in being manipulative.
No, she was super smart.
Super smart.
But sometimes a bomb goes off underneath you, and you can be smart as all you like.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's not
She's
working.
trying to get out of there.
Smartest of the people who got incinerated.
Yeah, but this leads me to a very important and accurate prediction. Okay, which is that this whole Game of Thrones is actually about 2 characters that we don't talk about nearly enough. Not the guys who, oh my God, the different families, yada yada. No, Game of Thrones is all about Littlefinger versus Ferris. Okay, and so Varys is the light, as we found out throughout the series, which we weren't sure about in the beginning, and Littlefinger is the darkness. And so one is trying to prevent chaos and the other is trying to create chaos.
Yeah.
It's matter, antimatter, light versus darkness. So who will win at the end? The 2 characters that cannot die till the end, hence, are Varys and Littlefinger.
They're the man in black and Jacob on the island in Lost, talking about
exactly
the nature
right.
of humanity.
That's exactly
I haven't
right.
watched it yet.
Yes.
That doesn't spoil anything.
I think you might be onto something there. Although I do think it's
They had that conversation season 1, looking at the throne in the throne room.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes, that's
just
true.
That's.
I think that they do represent the dichotomous forces, but I don't think it's as much about good and evil and more about order and chaos. Because I think that Littlefinger will do good, theoretically, if it benefits him in the short term, and Varys will do evil things if it benefits in the short term. Okay, next, Darth Nawaf says, I think Randall Tarley, Sam's father, is gonna side with Cersei along with Euron Greyjoy.
Okay.
I can see that. That's an easy one.
I like how we're doing the cross thing of Star Wars characters commenting on Game of Thrones. Although I missed what color your lightsaber is, but you have made a Xiao prediction.
But it's a likely prediction.
It's a light prediction. Like if that happens, probably not the biggest plot twist.
Well, here's a big one then. Okay, Taylor Simpson says, I'm predicting the final shot of season 7 will be the wall coming down. The wall has to come down for the White Walkers to be a threat. And there were a lot of rumored leaks that one of the dragons dies beyond the wall and is resurrected by the Night King and he uses the zombified dragon to melt the wall down with blue dragon fire.
I could see that being not the last episode or the last shot of the last episode. I could see it being second to last episode because there's always like this epic battle, right? And
where you're like,
The wall's gotta come down.
Episode.
Here's okay, the wall comes down, but the final shot of episode 7 is the White Walker placing his hand on a dragon head and the dragon's eye turning blue. It's gotta be the last shot.
It's gotta be.
It's gotta be.
Okay, it probably won't be.
Too good.
So,
right.
Imagine
just because it's gotta be.
So Taylor, your prediction was a shocking, never seen before. Oh, and a ooh. Okay, you got an oh and a ooh.
Yeah, that's good.
Because the wall coming down had the immediate ring of truth to it, where it was like, oh, of course, Taylor Simpson. Why didn't I think of that?
It has
right?
to.
So it has to. Okay. But then the dragon turning into a fucking White Walker. Oh, that's so good. That's so good that if that doesn't happen, you need to go down to Baltimore and start writing with
Benioff and Weiss.
With what's his face too?
George R. R. Martin?
Yeah, George R. R. Martin on the next book.
It'll happen, it'll happen. Okay, the next ones are a little bit more subtle. Windmill 360 says Varys or Gendry takes the throne. Maybe not Gendry.
Gendry's the squire, right?
The bastard. He was with Arya for a while. It's Robert Baratheon's bastard son.
Oh,
yeah. Now he's not even the squire. He's even a more minor character. Gendry is a remote possibility just because they set it up in the beginning as he's the only Baratheon left, right? And he still survived.
So he's off on that rowboat somewhere for 4 seasons.
But it's not going to be Varys. I mean, unless it's the very, very, very end of the whole thing, and like I said, it's Varys versus Littlefinger, and I mean, in that. In Game of Thrones, Littlefinger sits on the throne. Varys is very unlikely.
I don't think he wants to.
Yeah, because I'm not sure he wants to.
There's gonna come a point where the throne doesn't matter anymore. I mean, and we're right around then. When it's like, oh, you got the throne, way to go, because you just screwed us all. You were so focused on that.
Yeah, a dragon could melt the throne entirely.
I think one of my predictions, I think I might have mentioned it last week, was the dream prophecy Daenerys had back in like season 1 or 2, where she's in the Red Keep, the throne is there, but the building has no roof and snow is coming in. I think we're gonna see that shot. I think she's gonna attack the Red Keep, destroy everything, and she'll get in there, but it'll be a shell, basically.
Okay, so I didn't know that prophecy existed, so that it will obviously happen. We're done with it. But then I had this fun thing. It's a prediction that I know won't happen, but would be cool if it did. The dragon melts the Game of Thrones, the throne itself enough that they actually all turn into swords. They like fall apart and the swords come down and they're made of dragon glass. Whoa!
That'd be cool.
They pick up the swords.
I want like an HGTV style like DIY show where all the dragons get together and make a bunch of dragon glass, and then they carry it up, and then they put it over the north, and then they say 1, 2, 3, shatter it, and then all the shards just fall down on all the White Walkers, and the series is over.
That's probably what's gonna happen, if I had to say. Okay,
if it was on YouTube, that's
they have hats and like they put like the pencil in their hat hanging down like they're doing, I don't know, some kind of utility belt.
Okay, Wow Cunning says this, referring to an episode. I haven't watched the 10th episode last season yet, again, where she kills old man Frey. But I think Arya will murder many, many more Freys, like basically destroy his house in one fell swoop.
So good.
I think she should. And the question is, does she get to kill Cersei? Oh, that would be good, I think, if she did. Because remember, she was there when her father died. Cersei wasn't directly responsible.
I think Cersei's gonna die.
This season?
Yeah, I think she's gonna be gone.
She makes it to episode 3 at least.
Who murders her, I'm unsure of, but Arya would be great.
Yeah.
It'd be great if like scene 1 is Arya killing Cersei.
Okay.
Doubt it. Too soon.
Doubt it.
Too soon.
Yeah. No.
Just be like, so we're back.
If this was a normal series, I would say, of course, Arya is going to kill Cersei. That's the whole lead up. That's the whole arc of that character. But this being Game of Thrones, there's a chance that she makes it all the way and Cersei kills Arya.
It's possible.
Oh no!
Imagine if like Jaime killed Arya defending Cersei, how torn people would be.
Or
I think Cersei could kill her.
Or the Mountain. Or
The Mountain.
oh, the Hound is going to be back.
Yeah, yeah.
The Hound's back.
The Hound versus the Mountain, season
That
7.
has to happen.
It has to happen. It has to.
It's gonna happen.
It has to.
It has. How can he beat the Mountain?
Taylor, get down to Baltimore right now. Make sure the Hound and the Mountain are.
Okay, here. This is a crazy prediction. There's no way this is gonna happen. Matt White says everyone will die in a wonderful, glorious way.
Thank you, Matt.
That could well happen.
Matt White
I think that
Walker.
a long time ago, George R. R. Martin said that the way he at first envisioned the end was just a field of corpses with crows picking at the bodies, and that's the end of the entire series.
Oh wow. Thanks.
It's Game of Thrones. It could happen.
He's such a cheery soul.
Yeah.
So we also have the 3 names of the first 3 episodes, and as well as descriptions of what happens. And so episode 61 is called Dragonstone. So 6 being, it's Dragonstone. Do you want to hear all this stuff?
Description?
The description?
No, I don't want to hear descriptions.
Just
I just
the
want the
title.
title.
Okay.
So Dragonstone,
First
obviously, we've seen in the trailers, it's likely that Daenerys gets back to her home island of Dragonstone.
Stormborn is the second
Daenerys.
episode of the season.
So apparently the first 2 focusing both on Daenerys, and they'll go jump around, I'm sure,
Yeah.
but that's the big plot line.
And the third is the Queen's Justice,
Now,
which is
that-
ambiguous.
That's
That
right.
is
That could be
ambiguous.
Cersei. It could be Daenerys, and if it's Cersei, it could be that she has meted out justice or received it.
Or received.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it could
I think
technically
it's
be
more
Yara.
likely that she's going to receive the justice.
I think
She's
so.
already gotten her
But
justice.
would she die in the 3rd episode? I you too early.
You never know, man.
I don't know. And what is
Remember when
the
Jon
Queen
Snow
of
died
Thorns
and you're
gonna
like,
do?
what?
What if the
Remember
Queen
when-
is the Queen of Thorns?
Remember when Ned Stark
Maybe.
died? And you're like, what? That was a little too early, right?
Yeah,
Oh
that
boy,
was-
never
I mean, you
know.
want to talk about too early. Ned Stark dying.
It's like when your first girlfriend breaks up with you. You're just like, oh, I should have seen it coming looking back, but how was I to know?
Right.
But on the 18th one, you still don't see
Yeah,
it coming.
you're just like, I know I
when-
don't have any feelings anymore.
Right. So when Arya dies, you're going to be like, oh, come on, not again.
Oh, I think Arya and Tyrion. Arya more likely. I think of all the main characters, she's the one who's most likely to bite it next.
Yes.
Which is going to be sad.
No, and that's now I've braced myself for that impact, and I'm going to be okay with it. I mean, we have Trump as president. I'll live. Okay, like the worst things have happened. Okay, but if Tyrion dies,
we riot.
my heart will break a little.
Yeah,
riot.
Jamie and Cersei, he kills her and then himself.
Maybe. Okay, well, look, that's a lot of theories, a lot of prophecies, a lot to go through. You've got just a couple of days until the launch of the 7th season. These are our predictions. If you haven't already watched it, we put out a video last week with Brett and I going a little bit more in depth in a couple of things we think are going to happen. But we hope, like us, you're excited for this season. We are going to be doing a review immediately after the show, so look forward to that. It'll be available on YouTube, and we will see you before you know it.